My name's Henry Stern. I'm a senator in Southern California, LA, Ventura County areas. And it's an honor to be with you all this morning to unveil a package of legislation that collectively will be known as the PROTECT Act. Today's Zoom press conference, by the way, will be recorded. And for best sound quality, we got all the lines are going to be muted with the exception of the speaker at the virtual podium here. So thanks for bearing with us. We will also do questions from media after the speakers have concluded. And you can indicate you have a question by raising your hand if you guys have already been through this. Apologies for the repetition here. But you're welcome also to type your question in the Q&A in our chat. So a nursing home was the most dangerous place to live and to work during this pandemic. Why? Because our nursing home system is broken, trapping patients and families in a system that's driven solely by profit, not by quality care for those who need it. In many of these cases, people are seen as numbers and not as our mothers, our fathers, our sisters and brothers. So today, we're really trying to make an unprecedented push to bring a much needed coalition with a diverse range of stakeholders and an excellent group of lawmakers to hopefully bring some justice and some accountability to the system, to uplift the frontline workers who have been making this system go despite making poverty wages in many cases, for people struggling with disabilities or elderly folks who are isolated. If we can come together with this package of bills, I think we're going to make a lot of progress here in California. And so without further ado, I wanted to let Raquel Rivera really set the stage for us here. Raquel's sister actually is in a nursing home in San Francisco, and she and her family have been fierce advocates for her sister in a way that is so difficult because most folks behind the scenes cannot advocate for themselves. So without people like Raquel in their lives, often these tragedies happen in silence. So Raquel, thank you for your courage and for joining us this morning. Would you mind sharing your story?
Yes, good morning. Thank you for the invitation. Again, my name is Raquel Rivera, and I'm here on behalf of my sister, Sandy Rivera, who is developmentally disabled. She is a resident at Sutter Health CPMC Davies campus in San Francisco, and she has been there for about 2.5 years. I'm here today because I want to tell you Sandy's story. Sandy grew up with 3 sisters and a brother in a close-knit family home in San Francisco. Despite Sandy being delayed mentally, she overcame challenges like learning how to swim and running in the Special Olympics at Kezar Stadium. She loves to color and listen to music. Some time ago, Sandy got sick and required her to reside in a subacute nursing facility for trach care and frequent sectioning, along with skilled nursing care, for 9 years at St. Luke's Hospital. Then about 3 years ago, Sandy's world flipped upside down when Sutter attempted to evict her and 16 other subacute patients. After a long battle with Sutter, they agreed to transfer her to their Davies campus. Since the transfer to the new facility, the level of care Sandy received declined. We've been struggling for over 2 years, expressing our concerns over the quality of care and lack of response to Sandy's needs that we personally witnessed during our regular visits. Then the pandemic hit, and visitation was restricted from the nursing facilities. In a short time after these restrictions were in effect, my sister suffered a medical emergency that left her in a vegetative state. Sandy now requires 24-hour intensive hospitalized care, which includes respiratory care because she's on a ventilator, frequent sectioning, repositioning every 2 hours, and checking her vitals are stable. Sandy remains in TICU. We fear her return to subacute will be fatal, like it had been for 8 patients that passed away there, because she will not receive the intense level of care and response that she's currently getting. There needs to be stronger regulations to protect Sandy and others in her situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Raquel. And if everyone had a sister like you, it'd be a very different system. But for everyone else there, without you as a sister, thank you for your testimony and your advocacy. I wanted to move to Maria Ferguson, who also has an interesting perspective as a certified nursing assistant for over 20 years. She's been working in Livermore. And I'm hoping Maria is able to join us on the line here. I think she's working at Vineyards Healthcare Center. I don't know if you're able to take a moment with us, Maria, this morning, but thanks for being here.
I'm here. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. And I just want to say my name is Maria Ferguson, and I've been working certificate nurses assistant for over 20 years. I work in Vineyard Healthcare, Livermore, California. This work has always been difficult and it's hard work, physical and emotional. This work has been done in all respect, and the work is harder because workers are not treated well. But I must tell you that in the last year, I got so much difficult. It has been the hardest year of work. We will leave our shifts and come home crying because there was not enough people to take care of residents. There will often be 3 or 4 CNAs on the floor trying to take care of everyone. And the lies keep going on. People need help. They call him yelling for help. And I feel like we were racing from one person to the next. But we didn't have the help. We need to do the best job. We were short on the floor for most of the year. We often did have a time for sometimes breaks or eat the lunch. In the mornings, we should have 7 or 8 residents to take care for mornings. Mornings are very busy and hard. We shower the residents, we take care, dress them, transfer them to the wheelchairs, change the lines, we feed them breakfast, and make sure everyone get ready for the day. But insist of the 7 or 8 patients, we have 11 or 12. How do you care for that many patients? It's hard. And residents do pay the price. When they are short staff, people get sick, get sore, residents get depressed, and with no enough contact. Many residents are alerts. They need standing up space and no answers because they feel into depression. They feel so sad and abandoned for the families. Sometimes the residents start asking for the family and they say they don't love me anymore. They feel lonely and they feel abandoned. We were the only ones who were available to be there for them. It has been a heartbreaking. We do this job because we care. We get attached and we get close to them. I tell everyone, if you don't have a heart for people, if you can't see them as individuals to connect to and respect, this is not a job for you. And I would like to say the same thing needs to be for the people who own these nursing homes. If you don't care, then this is not the right business for you. We need to make sure that right people are in the business to giving us care, and that's what I am speaking out today. We need nursing homes put people first, no money. We need to have enough staff to be available to stop and spend some time with each person and make sure they know they are care and valued. We need to change how nursing homes work, and that's what caregivers are going to do this year. We can do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. And for telling the story of what it is to be in the care economy, that it's not just an economy, but it actually, that you care and that we're not meeting you where you are to help support you in a failing mission right now. It is heartbreaking. So thank you for sharing that. I know that your your case and your cause are not lost on our first legislator is going to be speaking today, who's the chair of the Assembly Committee on Aging and Long-Term Care, Assemblymember Adrian Nazarian, who overlaps in my backyard in the San Fernando Valley, which is really an epicenter for nursing homes and elder care in the region. And I don't know if the Assembly member is able to be with us at the moment, but I did want him to talk about his legislation if possible. So Assembly member, I'll let you take it away and talk about some of your experience here as well as your bill AB 749.
Thank you, Senator. Wanted to first and foremost thank Raquel and Maria for joining us today. I know it's a little challenging to talk about your personal experiences, but when you speak, you are representing the voices of thousands of other individuals who either have not had the opportunity nor the platform to share the hardships that they've gone through. So thank you both for extending yourselves and wanting to be a part of our conversation, as well as making it known to the world about the challenges that you faced, because your challenges have been the challenges of many other Californians and Americans. I also wanted to say thank you to all my colleagues who are on this call and who are fighting this amazing fight in order to make sure that we protect the most vulnerable amongst us. I've been a very proud chair of Aging Committee since January of 2019. And while I've been trying to learn the ropes of all the issues surrounding the aging world and community, and understanding the numbers, because at the heart of it all, what we're looking at is if our aging 60 years and plus in California make up 12%, we know that within the next 15 years or less, that number is going to double to become 25% of the state population. And with that, you can all imagine comes all the different challenges that we're right now even grappling with, let alone with the larger numbers, what's going to happen. So over the course of this last year, my committee, along with the Budget Subcommittee on Health, as well as Health Committee, held different hearings. And in each successive hearing, in June, in August, and in October, it left all of us just feeling extremely frustrated and fearful, because there were so many challenges that we did know were happening, but we didn't know the extent. We didn't know exactly how or when, or we would receive confusing information. And all it takes is one big crisis to unveil and open up and show everything that is wrong. And that's what happened with the COVID-19 pandemic. I don't want to focus too much on the vaccine rollouts. While there's been challenges in that, I do want to note that by last Friday, CDC data showed that 4.2 million Californians aged 65 and older have received at least one dose of the vaccine. So it's critical for us to have a united front and move forward and make sure that the best way of dealing with the pandemic and its consequences is to make sure that the vaccines are made available. My legislation specifically that joins a whole host of the legislation that's being worked on through my colleagues is AB 749, which basically ensures that medical directors be certified. California currently requires that every skilled nursing facility to employ a medical director, but the loophole that's been used is that some of them will just employ someone on a contractual basis just to sign the documents necessary and move on to the next building, move on to the next senior SNF. But what this bill does is that it'll ensure that if you are working in the office, you are certified, you've gone through the appropriate training, and that you're committed to the field. It's critical that we make sure that when businesses want to get into a certain arena and offer their services, that they're not doing this on a temporary basis, so that they build up enough cash revenue to go on to the next business, but to become experts in the field and in the arena that they're serving and catering to. That requires making major investments. That requires having a field of personnel that know what they're doing, that become in tune with the needs of their clientele and learn better in order for us to then make progress and know how to deal with future issues. So with that, just want to say thank you all for joining us this morning. Look forward to working with you and look forward to moving all of these package of legislation forward. Senator, thank you.
Thank you, Assembly Member, and for all your leadership in this arena, hearings, oversight, and all the groundwork. We sincerely appreciate the Valley's better off with you in there. I wanted to hand the mic over to the Majority Leader of the Assembly now, who we were just informed is in Judiciary Committee. So before I give Leader Gomez-Reyes a big introduction, I'll pivot over and see if Assemblymember Jones-Sawyer might be willing to step up a few minutes before he was due. Thank you, sir. I know, so Assemblymember Jones-Sawyer is going to be talking about AB 1042. Yes. Without further ado, my friend from South Los Angeles.
Thank you to SEIU, my union, and my colleagues for having me here today to speak on the immediate need for nursing home reform. Excuse me. This past year has been a devastating year of loss across the world, but this pandemic exacerbated existing inequalities and fallen heavily on the shoulders of the working poor, communities of color, and our vulnerable elderly population. Nearly 13,000 deaths have been reported at the hundreds of skilled nursing and assisted living facilities across our state. In my county of Los Angeles, over 49,000 cases in nursing homes have resulted in more than 3,600 deaths. Last year, the most dangerous place to live and work was a nursing facility. As a state, we should be furious about these facts. We should be furious that a string of private companies have profited at the expense of our elderly, even in the years prior to the pandemic. That is why I introduced AB 1042 to close an existing loophole that has been exploited by facility owners to escape true accountability for substandard care. For years, nursing home owners have contracted out to companies owned by family members, friends, or even by themselves for rental property, medical supplies, and other services, only to line their pockets with more money and poor patients' care to show for it. Nursing homeowners have used webs of these connected companies to obscure their financial interests, limit legal exposure, and contract themselves at inflated prices without oversight and accountability. This bill, my bill, will permit the Department of Public Health to seek payments from companies that nursing homeowners have financial interest in. When a nursing facility fails to pay a penalty in full, all appeals have been exhausted, and all appeals have been exhausted. Sorry about that. Nursing homes, since 2015, millions of dollars in penalties have been left unpaid by skilled nursing homes that were cited for serious violations related to injury and neglect of patients. When the system is up to gain in profit, not care, the lives of nursing home patients and workers are put at risk. By giving DPH the authority to go after these outside companies, all parties involved in nursing home operations should be incentivized to provide comprehensive care and ensure compliance with existing regulations. It is long overdue that skilled nursing facilities and their business interests are held financially accountable for these negligences and ensure we protect the most vulnerable Californians, our elderly. Thank you.
Thank you, Assembly Member. Sincerely appreciate your advocacy here and weighing in on this crucial issue. I know another one of your colleagues, the Assembly's got quite an excellent package of legislation. I think Assemblymember Mertsucci is also joining us here this morning. I'm not sure if he's still on, but he's He's been working on AB 279, looking at reforming management and ownership. Assembly member, welcome.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, SEIU, and to all of the organizations that are part of this very important convening of bills to reform the nursing home industry. You know, I want to, my name's Al Murthy, and I represent the South Bay area of Los Angeles County, which, among other things, is home to the largest Japanese American population in the mainland United States. And I want to share with you some, a recent experience. I know that all communities have been devastated by the pandemic, and especially, with our community members in nursing homes. But there's been a story to be told in terms of Japanese Americans in nursing homes in the Los Angeles area. For decades, the Japanese American community has placed great emphasis on taking care of our elderly and respecting our elderly. And part of that commitment was the formation of a wonderful nonprofit called Cato that provided for decades, the culturally sensitive care to Japanese American nursing home residents for many years in facilities in places like Boyle Heights, Gardena, Lincoln Heights. But about 5 years ago, Cato decided that their operation of the nursing homes was not sustainable, and so they sold a group of their nursing homes as well as an intermediate care facility to a real estate company named Pacifica. And ever since Pacifica purchased these nursing homes, we have seen the quality of care drop dramatically in these homes. This pandemic, like Assemblymember Nazarian and others have already noted, has particularly highlighted, what happens when these for-profit nursing home operators put profits above people. We have one nursing home in particular, KI Los Angeles, located in the Lincoln Heights neighborhood of Los Angeles. That nursing home has had the highest number of COVID deaths among all nursing homes in the entire state of California. And the reason why is because KI Los Angeles made the decision to apply for and receive a designation as a COVID designated facility, where without even notifying the residents and the family members of KI Los Angeles, they started receiving, patients, COVID patients that have been released from hospitals into the care in these nursing homes. Now, we know that it was a huge pandemic, and everyone was trying to do what they can to, especially in the early stages of the pandemic. But, a big reason, it appears that a big reason why KI Los Angeles and other of these nursing homes, primarily serving the Japanese American community, applied for and started accepting COVID patients from hospitals is because they received between 2 to 3 times more in Medicare payment and county payments to receive these patients than their regular nursing home patients. And on top of that, another one of these facilities operated by Pacifica, there is an intermediate care facility in Boyle Heights. And they announced last September that they're going to shut down the ICF and they're going to convert it into luxury apartments. Now, imagine if this was your mother or your father being told that they were going to be evicted, at the height of this pandemic, from what, for all purposes, is their current home. There's been a huge outrage in the Japanese American community over what's been happening with this ICF. It's called Sakura Gardens in Boyle Heights. Huge outrage. Big article in the Los Angeles Times over, the KI Los Angeles facility being, having the highest number of COVID deaths. And this all points to the critical issue of who owns these nursing homes, because, there's nothing that impacts the quality of care more than who owns these nursing homes. And that's why I introduced, not one, but two bills to try to deal with this tragic, outrageous situation, that's just crying out for reform in the nursing home industry, especially as it relates to these for-profit chains that are increasingly dominating the nursing home industry. AB 279 is my first bill, which seeks to protect seniors during this COVID-19 pandemic by prohibiting nursing homes and ICFs from evicting or transferring without their consent these residents, nursing home residents, from their homes during the COVID-19 state of emergency period. I think there's countless examples of how seniors have experienced transfer trauma, and it's all the more so, when we're talking about evicting or transferring these residents, nursing home residents, during this pandemic. My second bill, AB 1502, again seeks to protect nursing home residents by strengthening the oversight authority of the California Department of Public Health over these for-profit nursing home chain operators by banning the practice of squatting, of allowing these chains to operate without a license, by the abuse of these interim management agreements to circumvent licensing requirements, and to establish basic suitability standards for the qualifications of nursing home owners and operators going forward. These are just some of the many stories that we've seen throughout the state that's just crying out for the need for nursing home reform. And I'm proud to be joining all of my colleagues on this call as part of that effort. Thank you very much for allowing me to share my story.
Well, thanks for not just your legislation, but for your lived experience in watching how people get left in the dark during these pandemics, and they don't even know what's happening to them. The residents living there, and the loss, frankly, of competent, high quality care, and what happens when profit gets injected into this arena that really shouldn't be profit driven. So thanks for your vigilance here, Assembly Member.
Thank you.
So if I'm not sure if Majority Leader Reyes is with us, but welcome, Madam Majority Leader. I wanted to welcome you. We've heard from a few other legislators, but we know you've got a really important bill, AB 849, that I'm also helping out with. Would you mind telling everyone about it?
Yes, and thank you so much. And good morning to everyone. Honestly, it's such an honor to be here among so many people who are dedicated to serving our seniors. And most especially, I do want to thank you, Senator Stern, for your staff for organizing this event. I'm honored to join you, Senator Stern, and Assembly Members Kalra, Muratsuchi, and Nazarian to introduce this package of bills to prioritize responsible ownership, treatment, equity, and corporate transparency in California's skilled nursing facilities. Throughout my time in the legislature, I've made it a priority to safeguard the rights and well-being of our seniors. As a member of the Committee on Aging and Long-Term Care and former chair of the Human Services Committee, I have fought to ensure that every senior in our communities, regardless of age, race, ethnicity, or immigration status, is treated justly and has access to comprehensive care. This has become especially important during the pandemic, which has impacted our seniors and skilled nursing facilities more than any other group. And I sincerely appreciate the bills being introduced by my colleagues. So especially in these times, our seniors need to know that the facilities they live in are doing everything they can to ensure their safety and respect their rights. Our seniors also need to know that California is looking out for them and protecting them. When the laws of California are violated and a complaint is filed, current law states that the maximum a victim can recover is $500 in damages, regardless of how many violations the resident suffered. This is unjust and has resulted in the inhumane treatment of our seniors. One example I want to share with you is an 83-year-old veteran who resided in a long-term facility for over 6 months. During this time, he was left alone, lying in bed in soiled garments for long periods of time. And as a result of these repeated insults to his dignity as a human being, he suffered multiple falls, unexplained abrasions, pressure ulcers, dehydration, and severe urinary tract infections. These conditions eventually caused him to develop sepsis, which led to his death. While this man's family filed an action against the facility for the countless acts of neglect, they were only able to recover $500 in damages, despite the many separate events against him. It's clear that capping damages at $500, regardless of the number or severity of violations, isn't enough to deter or remedy violations of the rights of our seniors. That's why I've introduced my bill, AB 849, which will protect the rights of seniors living in skilled nursing facilities. This bill will clarify that up to $500 in damages can be awarded per violation of rights rather than in total. In this way, we can balance the scales of justice and ensure that those who harm our seniors are held accountable and that such actions will serve as a deterrent to others. I'm honored that AB 849 can join with this package of bills to reform our skilled nursing facilities, and I look forward to working with my colleagues to safeguard the rights, safety, and well-being of our seniors in this critical time. And if I may, Senator, I'd like to offer some comments in Spanish.
Please feel free.
Thank you. Buenos días a todos. Es un honor estar aquí con tantas personas dedicadas a servir a nuestros adultos mayores de la tercera edad. También quiero especialmente agradecer al senador Stern y su personal por organizar este evento y a los asambleístas Calbra, Muratsuchi y Nazarian por presentar este paquete de proyectos de leyes que toman en prioridad a nuestros familiares de la tercera edad. En mi tiempo en la legislatura he tenido como prioridad los derechos y el bienestar de nuestros adultos mayores. He luchado para asegurar que todas las personas mayores en nuestras comunidades, independientemente de su edad, raza, origen étnico o estatus migratorio, sean tratados con justicia y que tengan acceso a atención integral. Esto se ha vuelto especialmente importante durante esta pandemia, que ha afectado a nuestros familiares mayores que necesitan saber que estamos haciendo todo lo posible para garantizar su seguridad y saber que California los está cuidando y protegiendo. Cuando se violan las leyes de California y se presenta una queja, la ley actual establece que el máximo que una víctima puede recuperar son $500 en daños, independientemente de cuántas de estas violaciones haya sufrido el residente. Esto es injusto y ha resultado en el trato inhumano de nuestros adultos mayores. Un hombre veterano de 83 años residió en una instalación a largo plazo durante más de 6 meses. Lo dejaron solo, acostado en la cama y con ropa sucia durante largos periodos de tiempo. Como resultado de estos repetidos insultos a su dignidad como ser humano, sufrió múltiples caídas, abrasiones inexplicables, úlceras por presión, deshidratación y una grave infección del tracto urinario. Estas condiciones eventualmente le hicieron desarrollar una sepsis que lo llevó a la muerte. La familia de este hombre presentó una demanda contra la instalación y solo pudieron recuperar $500 en daños. Está claro que limitar los daños a $500, independientemente del número o la gravedad de las violaciones, no es suficiente para disuadir o remediar las violaciones y de los derechos de nuestras personas mayores. Por eso he presentado la ley AB 849, que protegerá los derechos de las personas mayores que viven en centros de enfermería especializada. Este proyecto de ley aclarará que se pueden otorgar hasta $500 en daños por violación de derechos en lugar de en total. De esta manera podemos equilibrar la balanza de la justicia y asegurarnos que aquellos que dañan a nuestras personas mayores rindan cuentas y que dicha acción sirva como disuasivo para los demás. Me honra que AB 849 pueda unirse a este paquete de proyectos de leyes para reformar nuestras instalaciones de enfermería especializadas para los mayores. Y espero trabajar con mis colegas para salvar los derechos, la seguridad y el bienestar de nuestros adultos mayores de la tercera edad en este momento crítico. Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias a usted, Madam Majority Leader. Thank you for your advocacy and courage here leading the Assembly. I wanted to move on to, I think, one of our last speakers here, Assemblymember Kalra, I think just left committee and may have joined us. Let me just double check that he's here with us. If he is, he's going to be introducing AB 323, which will reform nursing home citation framework in the state. An assembly member is from San Jose and knows a little bit about caretaking himself. I think if our administrators can enable his video, I think that's the missing piece here. Let's see if we can pull that off. All right. Hey. Welcome, Assembly Member. There you are.
Right. Well, it is great to see you, Senator Stern, and my colleagues. It was great to hear from our Majority Leader. And I just want to thank you first and all my colleagues that are here to announce this package of legislation, which is really focusing on such an important area. And I think the COVID pandemic has certainly exposed a lot of things that we need to work on as a state. And I think the quality and care in our nursing homes is certainly one area that we absolutely need to work on. And Senator, as you indicated, as someone that spends a lot of time with my father, trying to make sure that he's taken care of in his older years and stays as vibrant as he can, I understand how important it is that all of our parents and grandparents, and even us as we age, have the opportunity to live with dignity and to live in places that are safe and places that really focus on not just quality of care, but quality of life. And so, I introduced actually quite a few years ago, AB 323, pretty much my entire time here in the legislature, been working on this issue back when I was chair of the Aging and Long-Term Care Committee. Now our colleague who also has a bill as part of this package, Adrien Nazarian, very ably chairs that committee. But just to tell you how long we've been working on this issue and what AB 323 does, it allows for more consistent oversight of nursing home facilities and similar facilities by creating a clear legal standard with which to hold these facilities accountable for deaths that are caused by negligence and poor care. The current standard and statutes created inconsistency when applying citations in our state's nursing homes. And so we're trying to create a far more clear standard. In addition, we are implementing through this bill, if we can get it done this year, a state auditor recommendation on increasing CDPH penalty amounts that haven't changed for 20 years. And the penalty amounts created disincentives for facilities to violate health and safety regulations, and amounts have not kept up with inflation. Ultimately, the idea is really to help the facilities really do a better job. If they're not up to standard, let's help them get there. This is not about being punitive, but the reality is that you have to have measures in place that really have both a carrot and stick approach, because the reality is if we don't have some sense of accountability, then we see what we've seen over the years, what our auditors have told us over the years, and what now leads to us to put these bills forward on transparency and on reform in general. And so I'm very grateful to be with my colleagues in this righteous cause of ensuring that our nursing homes have the highest quality of care possible. And we work with the industry to make sure that our loved ones that are in these facilities are cared for in a way that we all deserve. So thank you, Senator Stern, and thank you to my colleagues also for introducing these really important bills.
Thank you, Assembly Member, and for being an example for all of us out there in the caretaking world on Twitter for setting the standard so high. Not everyone can care for those they love at home, though. And for those who aren't in these positions that you or I are in, where we can cook that meal at night or have the extra time or care for your father or your father-in-law, they should be able to rely on nursing homes as a place to age with dignity. So thanks for your advocacy here. I have the last piece of this Protect plan to roll out for you all, which is SB 650 here. So I'll talk that through very briefly, and it really gets at the broader corporate structure around the for-profit nursing home industry, which is where the vast majority of our care is delivered in California, not through the kind of nonprofit skilled nursing facilities that, for instance, my mother-in-law is aging at the Jewish home in Los Angeles. And there are a lot of nonprofits in the space that actually are operating quite well. But in the for-profit space, there have been concerns flagged both by state auditors' reports and past actions of state and local officials around larger for-profit nursing home providers that are currently transacting within their own corporate networks to related parties. And this isn't a small amount of money we're talking about, where transactions will occur between a nursing home and, say, a related party in that corporation that supplies diapers or food or other equipment or even real estate services. These are large dollars. We're talking about, nursing home payments between 2007 and 15, a recent study showed, exceeded about 66% of all nursing home payments went up by 66% among related parties. And about $1 billion annually is now transacted that way. Among the top three, the largest nursing home chains in the state, about 150 million was reported back during 2015. But, our data is out of date, and we don't have enough transparency in the industry right now so that people who are trying to make choices about where to send their loved ones know if every dollar of Medi-Cal or of those taxpayer-funded healthcare benefits are going to make it either to their loved one or to the care workers serving them. How much extra profit is being squeezed out on the way from that dollar's origin from taxpayers all the way down to the person who needs the care? We don't completely know. And we suspect, based on recent research been done by the Washington Post and some other investigative work, as well as a recent audit, that there may be inflated costs and other concerns about dollars not reaching their final source. So this bill will place an information disclosure requirement on for-profit nursing homes around California to see how they're spending their money directly, as well as indirectly with related parties. And, for a little perspective in Espanol, for the Spanish language media, We have, hasta la fecha, más de 160,000 residentes y trabajadores de hogares de ancianos han muerto de COVID en todo el país. This is an epicenter of loss for us. And este proyecto de leyes tienen la intención de proteger el dinero de los contribuyentes y mejorar el cuidado de los residentes, al mismo tiempo que mantiene una fuerza laboral sólida y consistente. La crisis del COVID ha provocado claramente que no se examine ni se controlen tales ganancias. ¿Sí? And this PROTECT Act is designed to put a stop to all this abuse. Again, it's the Prioritized Responsible Ownership, Treatment, Equity, and Corporate Transparency Plan. So this PROTECT plan is an assembly of several different legislative vehicles that will need your help, your insight, and we have some of the best experts in the entire aging world with us here today, both from frontline workers, from the Coalition for Californian Advocates for Nursing Home Reform. We have some consumer protection organizations and others here to answer questions. So I wanted to hand it over to the press or any reporters joining today. Any questions for some of our experts or any of our legislators' offices that we can clarify here? I will look in the chat.
Any reporters have questions, if you can raise your hand, I can take you off of mute. We have a question from Daniel. Daniel, okay. Please unmute yourself.
I was just curious, but so the nursing homes basically, I saw somewhere that they account for 1 in 4 COVID deaths in California.
Yeah, I think Tony Chicotel might have some of that data. Daniel, if you all could identify yourselves, just so we know your outlet too that you're reporting with. But thanks for the question. Tony, do you want to take a stab at that?
Yeah, I think that's correct. The number is about 1 in 4 skilled nursing facility of COVID deaths were in skilled nursing facilities, and that represents over 9,000 nursing home residents that passed away. Just to give you some idea of the scope, there's about 100,000 nursing home residents at any given time in California. So we have about 100,000 beds, and 9% of them experienced a death this year, which is just stunning.
Hopefully that helps you, Daniel, with your question. I see we have 2 other hands raised. Oh, no, sorry. One of those is Daniel. Sorry about that. And then I think Anita Chabria we also had. If our administrators could, I think, spotlight Anita.
Anita, if you can unmute yourself.
I think you've almost got it there. Oh, there you are. You're with us now, Anita.
Okay, I'll try again. Anita Chabray with the LA Times. I noticed that none of the bills address the staffing issue, which was such a big problem both during the crisis and going back. Is staffing something that you thought about, or what are your thoughts around the staffing issue?
Yeah, I think it's a fair point, and there is legislation that we're looking at on that front. I believe Assemblymember Gabriel has a bill in the Assembly looking at the nurse staffing ratios. We don't consider this package to be necessarily exhaustive, but I think that staffing ratio issue and the lack of enforcement around it is a central area of concern. The fact that those ratios have been waived almost categorically before the pandemic, and then during the pandemic, obviously increased substantially, so that the quality of care necessarily suffers. It's sort of inevitable when you change those ratios. So we don't think we should, frankly, be allowing that kind of reduction in care to be MO for the entire nursing home sector. So we're also looking at budget actions in that arena because, frankly, it will take some significant investment. And so I think, part of it's about legal reforms or statutory reforms, but a lot of it's going to be about how much funding the legislature is willing to put forth to bring those ratios down and get the quality of care up. So I think I would look for that to be a major item in both the budget subcommittees as they move forward. And I'd also keep an eye on that on Assemblymember Gabriel's bill. We can get you the number too, Anita, if you want to track that.
Perfect.
I think I'm a joint author or co-author on that as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Others? I see Samantha Young has a hand up. If you guys could pull Samantha up.
Samantha, if you can unmute yourself.
Welcome, Samantha.
Hi, yes, thank you for taking our questions.
Yeah.
So I was curious, last year, the legislative agenda was just narrowed down so much because of the pandemic. What is your sense this year going forward? How much of your package do you think realistically you could get through? We are maybe optimistically, in a better place. But what are you being told by your leadership as far as the appetite for some of these kind of bills and kind of the outlook for getting something like this through?
I don't know that COVID or the challenges of the pandemic, frankly, should or can be any excuse for not taking on some of these more critical reforms. I think that the appetite for moving complex legislation last year, I think, was diminished, and a lot of the power resided on the executive side. But I think the legislature is really taking the reins this year, and we haven't had any signals from leadership to stop what you're doing or pump the brakes or don't try to be ambitious here. In this specific area around elder care and nursing homes and the quality of our care economy writ large, the pandemic spotlighted the obvious and egregious injustices occurring on almost a daily basis in this arena. So if not this year, I don't know when we're going to be able to pull something like this together when the public's interest is so squarely on the issue. So no pushback from legislative leadership here to narrow the scope. I think we've got a pretty good, pretty good package of legislation. It won't be easy. The politics have never really been easy on these issues, especially because a lot of the folks within nursing homes can't really advocate for themselves. And so you have to have their caregivers doing that advocacy or some of these nonprofit organizations. But it's typically been a pretty lonely legislative effort. But with this whole coalition of heavyweight leaders in both houses, our hope is that we get something big done here this year, Samantha. So, no excuses from COVID and no push it back yet from leadership. So now we just got to do the hard work and keep things moving.
Thank you.
Yep. Happy to entertain any other questions if you guys caught anything from online or others, anyone administering this. I'll look in the chat one more time. But if we don't have any others, we appreciate the follow-up from the press, and the Times has frankly been outstanding on this between just spotlighting some of these issues. So thanks for your vigilant reporting in this arena. So legislation will be heard in various committees going forward, and hopefully under this Protect Plan hashtag, you can track a number of this legislation depending on where you're interested. If you want to get involved and try to help us out, please reply back and figure out how you can make your voice heard to stand up for those who don't have a voice for themselves. We sincerely appreciate all our partners being a part of this event here today and making it happen. And we will have, for any Spanish language media afterwards, we'll have separate information for you all on our bill packages if that's of interest. So I know we do have some Q&A available to you all in Spanish, and hopefully we can translate to other languages as well if that's of interest. So unless anyone has anything further to add, I will say this is the year to get something done in our skilled nursing facilities and to care for those who can't care for themselves. So thanks for being here, for being brave, and for demanding reform. Take care, everybody.